I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
Well, here we are back again. I'm getting started a lot later than I intended to, which is pretty much par for the course, which is unfortunate because I'd like to know if this is working properly. I might have to turn on the audio for 1 second to test it. Well, here we are back again. Yes, it is working. All right. I'm using my mic, and I'm using my newer, not newer, but newer. You know what I'm talking about. It's I wanted something better than the snowball ice. Anyways, here we are again. It's another Halloween. I am starting late because there was a lot of technical issues in putting this together. I also fell asleep this afternoon. And I also wanted to wait until after the Blue Jays game is over. I won't talk about that. So here I am. I really haven't formally put something proper together tonight because in typical fashion I just haven't had the time. I was lucky I got together the things that I did. I had that little intro that you saw. It took me a long time to put that together. That is an improvement over the one that I did 2 years ago. And hey, how you doing, Dylan? I'm so glad you could be here. Oh, you just missed my intro. If you have a moment, please go back and rewatch the intro. I might actually play it again later on. I did a lot of work on that intro. I'm playing that one again later on at some point, maybe for a break or something. But yeah, I'm doing this through regular Streamlabs. I'm not using Talk Studio, so because of that, there is a good 30-second to 1 minute delay. So any text or any chatting that you send up, I do have the iPhone open. I have it streaming on the coming through on the iPhone, so I can see the text sooner than seeing it on the Streamlabs. But I put a lot together for tonight, and I didn't actually have any proper plans, though. I just made all these little breaks and an intro and that kind of thing, and even the outro. I didn't even get the outro put in. So what I think I'm going to do is this will kind of be part one tonight, and I think I'm going to have continue the Halloween special tomorrow. I know I get a bunch of people whining, Halloween's over, and then I'll block them because I hate people like that. It's, sometimes you can't do things on the actual date, and you're always kind of like, Jesus, if it was just 1 day later, if it was just, etc. and so forth. So, I've kind of used the argument. I says, I don't know how many times people have had to do Christmas like a couple of days later because they were waiting for somebody to come home, or waiting, somebody had to work, so they did it a day or two later, right? So it's going to be the same thing for Halloween. What the hell? There's people having Halloween parties tomorrow because it's easier to have it on the Saturday. So tonight, I'm not too sure. I'm going to see how many people show up. I wanted to. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk about tonight as an art show. I wanted to talk about the release of the updated version of Affinity. If you haven't heard about that, that's something I really want to go over tonight. I have downloaded the program, but I haven't really had a chance to kind of go through and look at it yet. So I think I'm going to open that on here tonight, and we'll have a look at Affinity. Maybe it might just only go an hour or two. I don't know, but I'd like to do this again tomorrow afternoon. We'll have part 2 of the Halloween special tomorrow afternoon. So, but we'll see. I'm just kind of playing this by ear now. So such is life. But how are you doing, Dylan? I'm glad you're in tonight. I'm glad actually you are, because I want to make sure if the audio sounds okay, if it sounds too faint, if it's too off. I don't know how this is going through tonight. Let's see. I can't put them on the screen now for this, unfortunately. I'm not using... Or can you? Can you do that? There's some options here. I'm glad that you're live streaming tonight. My regular Friday night live stream didn't go live since they are at a con in Europe. Oh, how nice. Oh, wow. What convention? Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll go over that later. It's free. The new Affinity is free. But yeah, I'll go over some of the details on that later. Yeah, me too. Do you know what fell asleep this afternoon? That's one of the reasons I'm starting so late. I also wanted to wait until after the Blue Jays game, which was very sad. We won't talk about that tonight. It's funny, there is 3 dots on here, and yet it doesn't do anything. Okay. I was trying to see if maybe it will put the chat on screen. I think there is a way to do that. I just haven't put it in. I normally use Talk Studio, and I like Talk Studio because it's so much easier to bring stuff up on the screen, and although it is a little bit limiting when like when I want to be on the screen when I'm drawing, I can't change the size of the windows, right? That's all kind of fixed. But using Streamlabs desktop, I have much more flexibility that way. However, because you do have more flexibility, you have to set everything up ahead of time. Every little detail all has to be going in, and it's a bit of a mess. And is the audio going to be in here? Even though I don't have, like when I go to the breaks, I have to turn the audio off. Even though I don't have a microphone selected, I have to turn the mic off on it just to make sure that doesn't come through in the background. So it's very strange. So Streamlabs you have more you can do with it, but boy, all the pre-planning is difficult. But the Talk Studio is a little easier to just to point and click and have it do it, right? But it's limited on other things, right? So 601 have to, and the video type. Streamlabs that I'm using now, you can put any kind of video type up there, but when I use Talk Studio, every time I go to those breaks, I've had to convert all of those videos, I think, only to MP4. That's it. That's all it'll take. And Final Cut Pro does not export MP4, so I have to convert all of those to MP4 and then upload it. And so that's yeah, I'm almost out of breath talking about it. Had to reschedule MRI appointment. Oh, I'm sorry. My elbows were touching the machine, which is good. Right. Okay. So rescheduled for a different facility that has a box MRI. Okay. As long as you can still get it done. So that's good. And hopefully you're. I know you're in the U.S., aren't you? I'm trying to remember. You're American, are you not? I'm hoping you have everything covered. I know there's a lot of issues down in the U.S. right now for that kind of thing, for getting coverage, and I feel really bad for all of you guys. Is the chat coming through? The chat's not even all the chat's not even showing up on here. I am still coming through on stream, right? It shows that I am. There we go. Boy, the chat's awful on Streamlabs. I had to keep an eye on it on the phone because it's a huge delay on this thing, and then it doesn't scroll up, and then boop, it shows a whole bunch at once. So, I may actually. Well, here, let me get this set up first. So, Affinity. Oh, that's good. I'm glad it is covered. It is covered. That's good. I'm glad. So Affinity, we'll talk a little bit about that because Affinity, I don't know if you heard all the details, but Affinity was, they announced it yesterday, and the first big thing was that it's free. It's completely free. Canva owns it now, so Canva is still a subscription. It's a rather expensive subscription. I'm not particularly fond of Canva. Canva, the only thing that I really do like out of Canva is for doing video. I can it has an extra selection of music and title cards to do introductions and that kind of thing for your video productions. You can do opening stuff, and there's some really cool music. That's about it. I don't, for design work and whatnot, no, I would never use it. Not particularly fond of it. So Canva bought Affinity, and everybody was worried for a while that Affinity would go to subscription because Affinity was a one-time payment. You had to buy the program separately for the desktop and for the your portable device, your iPads and that kind of thing, right? So you had to buy everything separate, but it was a one-time payment. So and there were there's three different parts to Affinity. There was Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, and Affinity Publisher. I had no use for Publisher, but I like Designer and I like Photo. So I had both of those on the desktop and both of them on my iPad. So for the longest time, for the last, I don't know, a couple of months, they took, the Affinity site was still up, but you couldn't purchase anything on it. They took the purchasing part of it down. They said there was going to be this big new announcement. So a lot of people were worried that Affinity was going to go subscription. What were they going to do? Was it going to have AI built into it or some crap like that? And we were all like, like I paid a lot of money for that. I paid money for it. Like I said, it's not like Adobe. It wasn't like a monthly fee, but I still paid, a good chunk of money to have all of that for both the desktop and my iPad. So, and then they announced yesterday, they come on and said, guess what? It's free. How they kind of make back some money on that is through the Canva subscriptions. Because if you have a subscription to Canva, the only bonus stuff you get is the AI integration. And I'm not big on it. What they tested it, some of it's not bad, some of it's still buggy. So if you want that, it's there. It's going to be a little while before it's reached what Adobe's doing, but it's not as invasive as Adobe. Adobe's AI is machine learning or whatever they call it. They use your they use your work. They access your work to continue learning for its AI to read off of. So people are not big on that, but I prefer Kittle over Canva, but I might start using Affinity. Yeah, I'll show you in just a minute. The other thing that they did, they took those three, Photo, Designer, and Publisher, and they amalgamated it into one program, which I thought was a really good idea because Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer were fairly similar. There was only a few differences on it, and I always kind of wondered why those two weren't squished together, just with the program. Now all three of them are together in one shot. I haven't had a lot of chance to play with it, so I'm going to open it up in a few minutes. I've watched a couple of videos to see a couple of things on it. I know the little bit that I looked at. There's a couple of things I don't like in Affinity, and I'll show you. For some people, it might not be a big deal, but for me, was a little bit of a frustrating detail. But I can still use it, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But it is free, and it might be worth something to get and play around with, just to try it since it's free. But yeah, I'm going to open that up in just a moment here. They've got a new logo for it. It's I don't know. I have all these the old versions of it still, and I don't know now if I just delete those. What I do. I also integrated brushes, whatnot, into that. So we'll find out. But there it is. I'm going to bring that up now on the. Okay, I just brought it up. Give me one moment. I've got to have the tablet thing, so the tablet program needs to open up so that I can use the pen on it. All right, so let's see if I'm going to switch over to my other screen, and hopefully the microphone is working on this. I may have to take a break because I'm old and let's see what just happened. Oh, geez. Okay, Streamlabs scared the crap out of me. I thought it closed on me for a moment. Hopefully you can see this okay, and you can still hear me all right. You can see here the new logo, this A. They've done away with that little weird graphic design, which I always thought was kind of cool, but now they've got this bent, twisted A that looks silly. But so you open up to this, right, and it gives you all the different sizes. Recents I did do. Oh, it doesn't show the recent one that I did. I still don't even know what this is. Learn. Oh, that's I guess where you can go over. You can learn how to use Affinity here. Can I enlarge this? I can a bit. Can't. Well, it stretches it. There we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm a little worried just because I set this up today and I'm not sure how good this is actually working. So, my templates. I haven't made one yet. Favorites. So, a lot of vertical sizes here. Oh, twist. There we go. There's the horizontal right here. I usually kind of like working in a 16:9 because that fits into the screen really well. So I don't know if I can create that. Create a document. Oh, that's going to the, oh no, okay, I don't want that. Let's go back. This is A4, I've selected it, but I want to create a preset. No. Maybe I should have spent some time doing this before I before I did this, but there's got to be, well, there's some of these illustration canvas, study canvas, some of these might actually be pretty good. They're big. I was hoping to, it's showing pixel sizes. So, master canvas. If I went to inches, okay, so there's, yeah, it's going to take me a little while to get used to this, but that's all right. There's 15:12. Oh, look at all this. All right. 4K. Oh, here we go. FDH 1080 Oh, there we go. That's what I want right there. Create document. All right. That's usually what I like to work in. Um, so this has changed down the side. Um, the little bit that I was working with still had some issues. One of the things it does have in vector mode is live trace, and live trace I have only seen in two other programs. One of them is Illustrator, and I've never been particularly fond of Illustrator. I find it too confusing. Um, yes, you can. You can draw in Affinity like in Clip Studio, and I'm going to do that very shortly because there is a pixel mode and a vector mode. As you can see right here at the top, it's in pixel, and that should be drawing. If I switch to vector, that's where you get all your funky lines like this that you play with. But pixel mode, you come into it, you come over here, you've got layers, channels, and brushes. You can select your brushes. There's a comic ink right there. And whoops, I've got to get a pen going here. And there's, I don't need the assistant, I'm going to turn that off. Here's your sizes. And you should be able to, I wish it would stop doing that. There's got to be a way I can turn the assistant off. So I can, let's go into pencils, right? Natural pencil. I gotta figure out how to turn off that assistant. That is really obnoxious. Let's go to 2D and we'll shrink that a bit. All right, so you do have, let's leave it for now. Oh, changed on me there. Paint mixer. See, all this is different. This is different. Simulate the mixing of wet and dragged. Oh, all right. Interesting. The only thing I wish they separated the brushes and the layers over here, because you guys flip back and forth between layers and brushes as opposed to just having them visible on the screen. So you do have let's just do something here really quick. So you can have put in like a rough sketch. Now you go into your layers, you can add a pixel layer over top. And now here you can still turn down the opacity, and if I want to ink it, switch over back to my inks. It is a little bit more jumping around. I'm used to the Clip Studio Paint. Oops, I want that on a different layer. Back. I think I still kind of prefer the Clip Studio Paint. But this is kind of a nice option to have on the computer. So I'll show you in a moment the one aspect I'm not particularly fond of with this. And it has to do with the layering when doing colors. There's got to be. I learned how to use the stabilizer. Oh wow, that's a lot. What's all this? Wet edges, protect alpha, reset. Okay. Right. still dragging. See, it says rope. This is supposed to be rope mode, but there's still a rope there. So I don't know. Oh, hey, Kevin, how you doing? Good, good. Are you home yet, or are you just on your way home? I got started really late. Let's see how the eraser works here. Okay. It's all right. So one thing I don't like is in every other program, you want to color the image, you want to color it underneath the ink, and the above layer is usually your reference layer, and then you so that when you go to a color layer underneath, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to leave this pixel layer, but I'm going to add another one. I'm leaving it over top. They do it backwards, which I'm not particularly fond of. You can still kind of work around it, but and it does it automatically. Let's see here. Do you have to go into vector mode? There should, oh, we can get rid of this one. Entry settings, reset. I was looking at it the other day. There's what you can do with on your individual. Oh, I know why. I have to get the paint bucket first. The fill tool. There's the flood fill, and then this is the gradient. So I want the flood fill. Pick a color. And we want a little bit kind of a pinkish skin color, I guess. And if you can see, I've put the color on the top. I'm going to call it color here with a U because I'm Canadian. And this is ink, and this one's the sketch. So I'm renaming them. Always name your layers. Call them something that you'll know what they are. Alright, so here we go to color, and it'll automatically do it. Like you see here, it says layers beneath. Your current layer, which means it'll go directly into, it'll go directly onto this layer and just completely cover everything. So that's no good. We want it to reference your source. It wants to source the one underneath. So it'll say current and below. So that'll do both of these. And I think, oh, there we go. So I'm still not particularly fond of it. And then what's the last one? Is just layers beneath. So if I click on that, it's just referencing underneath. Okay. So, and then it says a little eye, you can turn off the sketch, right? Because what happens is, let's see if I can go with something darker. Let me do his hair. And we'll make it this really dark brown. And so I'm going to hit the hair. Now look, when I zoom in, it's very pixelated. And you can see all these little white gaps. So what I'm used to doing is taking the brush, and then I can go in and I I gotta pick the same color again. 1 second. Where's the color picker? Oh my god. Duh, this is not. Oh, there it is. Alright. So I've selected it. I hit my pen. And I'm used to just kind of filling it. Oh my goodness, switch those. I'm used to kind of filling it in, but as you can see, it goes right over top. That's kind of no good. So what I can do is I can use the select tool and select the area and fill it in. I would put the color underneath first, right? Select the area in the ink and then go down to my color level and fill it in. Or here, after I do the bucket, I'll flip them. I'll flip those two layers, and then I can kind of come in and do it like this, and I can fill that in. And I can use, I can go back and fix that with an eraser afterwards. But you get the idea, right? Like what I'm doing here. So, but as you can see, this is pixel. This is pixels. So when you zoom in, you can see how pixelated all that is. So let me turn off the color for a minute because I'll show you the live trace. If I come back here to vector, switch it to vector, it selects it. Now I just have to find it. Oh, image trace. There it is. If I do image trace, it'll turn into a vector line. So watch the edges. Watch these pixely little edges on it. I hit that, and what did you just do? I want to get rid of the color. Oh, it did the color too. That's why. That's funny. It's supposed to just, let me go back here for a second. I want to delete that layer. Why can I not delete that layer? I think it's there. Took it a moment. Now you can see the edge of this, right? How smooth that is. And no matter how much you zoom in, that's a sharp, crisp line all the way up. So it's turned it into a vector line. That means, though, that now the curve tolerance, can you still change that? Yeah, you can change some of the tolerance on it. The edge threshold. So we'll apply it. Now, if I come over here, hit this little guy here, I can come in. Is it this one or this one? One of the two. I know I can come in and I can change the lines if I know. There we go. I can change these lines if I need to. It's very odd. A lot I still have to figure out in this thing. This is why I say I very rarely use vector, and this is different too than point and transform tool. Node. Oh, it separated them all too. Look at that. See, now here it's changing that line. You can see here I can change this, but it's still it's doing a lot of funky things here still, and I haven't you know, I don't know why it's all stretching down to here. I don't know what that is, but yeah, you can go in and make any changes that you need to with it at this point. If you're used to using vector, you can knock yourself out. I'm not particularly fond of it. I'd rather work really large and just stick with pixels. If it comes down to it, maybe if I start spending a little more time learning this, I might be able to ink something like this and then be able to color it. But the coloring, though, I don't know why it brought the coloring back up, and I can't even delete that layer. Rasterize? Now I can delete it. There. Okay. Had to rasterize it first. So there you go. There is some things that are apparently still a bit buggy. This, I don't know if this is me or if this is just an issue with it, but I still have to figure it. I go back to pixel now, you can see the edges go all pixely again, right? So yeah, that's the that's a little bit of a touch here into this. I was hoping it might connect with my older version of Affinity Designer and pick up all the brushes that I had imported into it, and it has not. So, oh god, you have to select all of these? I wanted to clear it. Oh, yeah. You're dressed as a doctor. By the way, Kevin, just a heads up, because you missed the part at the beginning earlier. I'm using Streamlabs Desktop tonight instead of Talk Studio, so it there's a delay in between when you're typing and then when I actually see it. I do have my phone over here, and I should try and look over there a little more often. But so that was Doctor Who. The I it just looked like a doctor. I'm confused. For all these different brushes, I don't. Oh, no, that's in vector mode. What the hell? I wanted a watercolor brush. This is in pixel mode. Okay, there's still, I think there's still bugs to work out on this thing because I am in pixel mode. Or is it just the layer? Let's try this. I'll go with a pixel. There we go. It needed a pixel layer over here, so. If I click on this with my pen, it won't change it, but as soon as I click on that with my mouse, that'll open up. So there's supposed to be some blur tools here. Paint mixer brush, which is this, I guess. I don't know what that does. So yeah, this is really funky. This does color replacement brush. I don't want that. Pixel align. Okay. Remove unwanted subject. So if I went like that. Oh, all right. Okay. Or there's a healing brush. So this is more your photography stuff. Oh. Click this guy. So this is the copy and paste tool, I think. Yeah, it's a copy and paste tool, which is strange. It's a Band-Aid in this one. And this one down here, what's this one? Patch tool, repair extensive areas by image replacing with another target area. That's maybe what I'm thinking of, is that. Maybe, I don't know. And this is blemish removal for small imperfections. Oh my goodness, okay. Red eye removal. I can't do that on this. Okay, alright. Filter brush blur. Oh, that's a nice blur brush. Ooh, that really blurs. Some blur brushes just don't blur. Filter brush applies a self-masking live filter by painting. Okay, that's a blur, right? Blur is usually a drop. Sharpen tool. Sharpen tools just make them pixelated again. They don't really kind of sharpen. Do you know what I mean? And that's the same thing. Now this with the scales. Median brush, selectively reduce noise. Okay, and the last one, is a smudge. That just drags it. There's strength, I can increase that. Okay. So it kind of does all the same things, as just put them in different areas, but I still don't like filling on the layer above. That kind of bothers me. I need a drink. I may take a short break here for a minute. Are you guys still with me? Because I think I'm going to take a small break, and I did upload some break videos, so I'm going to hopefully I have enough time to do this. Otherwise, I'll try and come back and put another one on. If I get not back in time, it'll just kind of go black. So bear with me. Watch and have a good chuckle. We'll see you in just a moment. Alright, I made it just back in time. See, every time I go to one of those breaks, that wasn't the one I intended to play, by the way. I hit the wrong one. That's fine. I'll play the other ones a little bit later. I have to turn the audio on and off because when it goes to the break video, it keeps wanting to pick up the microphone. In Talk Studio, it automatically turns that right off whenever I play a video clip. On here, though, it keeps playing. And then when I come back, I have to switch my audio back on. If I don't remember to do that, you won't hear me. Yeah, by the way, Kevin, what I was starting to say earlier, and I forgot I didn't finish, is because I did start this so late tonight. I wanted to start after the Jays game, and which we won't discuss. But I wanted. I think I'm going to actually do this again tomorrow. I may. I don't know. I may even sort of stop and then start another one tonight. Maybe I'm not. Maybe not. I don't think maybe tonight I will. I do want to replay the opening. Everybody's missed the opening, and I spent a long time on that. As well as that last break, I did a lot of work on all that. I was quite proud of all the work I put into that. So, whoops. I wanted to. Excuse me. I wanted to. Yeah, I kind of wanted to showcase that a little bit. So, all the layers on that I drew myself, with the exception of the little Vincent Price opening. That the TV was just a part of a little free kit I got for doing video editing. But the smoke at the bottom is an overlay. Even the scratchiness on the video screen is an overlay. All of that is all overlays. And then when it comes to the beginning, I one of these days I'll show kind of how I did all of that. The bats the bats are the only thing that I actually had to physically animate. The bats and the lightning strike I had to actually draw each frame by frame. There's only 4 frames in the bat flying, by the way, so that was really easy. But yeah, I drew all the backgrounds. I drew all the monster heads. The monster heads, I've got something I'm going to play in a little bit. They were part of something I started kind of by accident. I call it the Halloween series. And I drew it one year, about 10 years ago, just for fun, as part of just to put on a Facebook banner for Halloween, and I just made these little sketches, but they were kind of cute and people kind of liked them, got a kick out of them. So I did fuller versions of them. I made better drawings of them, then I colored them, then I started adding backgrounds, and then I tried to see if I could make stickers out of them. And I made a pack of about 10 stickers, and I was selling them, I think, for like $5 for each sheet, and would have all the 8 heads on it. And I can't find them now. I sold 1 or 2, and then when I had to move, they've disappeared. I think they're still in storage. I don't think they're here behind me anywhere. I don't know where they are. But I'll get more printed next year probably. So, and I might add a few more Halloween characters. So. Yeah, but I've got which I think it's break 2. I wish I had labeled these better. But I've got I really should have planned all this better tonight, and I didn't, unfortunately. But I think I'm going to do this again tomorrow afternoon. I think I have tomorrow off. Yeah, and I think I'm just going to, I'll go for a little while tonight. I might go till for another half hour, maybe an hour. And then I think tomorrow I'll do another kind of part 2 to it. So why not? I'll have the second part of my Halloween special. So my throat is really scratchy. I'm not used to talking this much. I think I should be by now, but I'm still grovelly for whatever reason. So, anyway, so I don't know if you have any other questions about Affinity. While I am still trying to figure it out myself, but if you have any other questions about it, please feel free to chime in. It looks like, remember I said it was 3 programs amalgamated into one, and if you ever used Affinity, in each of those programs, it had a different persona, if you will. So Designer, you had your pixel persona, which is like what I'm working in here, and then it had a vector. So so you can see. Oh, you know what? Let me switch over to this. Hold on a second. That's better. Hopefully you can all still hear me. You can see here there's vector, there's pixel, layout, and I think this is the... oh yeah, that's a completely different screen. This is publisher, right? So they did away with the personas. They did away with that. They're kind of all built in somewhere into each of these pages. Designer... Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo did the same things, except Affinity Photo didn't have it didn't have a vector persona, of course. That went into the drawing, the designer. The designer had, but you could still draw an Affinity Photo, right? Affinity Photo was the closest to Photoshop. It's just and then Affinity Designer was more drawing parts of Photoshop connected with Illustrator. And so instead they just took those and mashed them together, and then also added in what they call layout here. And this is like Pages on the Mac. What would be the equivalent of that on a PC? I'm not sure. It's where you can lay out. You can do layouts for magazine pages, books, ads. It's Publisher, right? So. And that's how they've got it all set up here. I'm going to have to play with it sometime and try it. I've been used to using Pages for years because I love Pages. I absolutely loved using Pages. When I used to have an eBay store, I used to make the ads in Pages, and then I'd make a photograph and I'd do all these graphics with it and lay them out. Didn't help with sales any, but it did make the page look more interesting. I stopped doing it after a while because it didn't help any. I remember getting really mad because I was selling Godzilla toys. I was getting them wholesale from Japan, and I was putting them up on eBay. I started an eBay store. I should have tried to keep up with it, but it was 2008 and sales were just not good. And I should have maybe tried to diversify and add different things to it and tried a little bit harder, but it was getting expensive. Like, I was buying these figures and I was only making a few dollars back. But there was someone else who was also, there was a few people selling things like that on eBay, right? This one guy, because he was getting his figures he was picking them up in Japan and bringing them back with him. And his pictures were terrible, absolutely terrible. And for the most part, he was usually charging $1 or $2 more. But he was one of the first to do it on eBay and had been doing it for a long time. So he had these fuzzy pictures. He was charging just a little bit more for his figures. But he was always selling. Like, he would always do... I was just doing click and buy as opposed to doing an auction. So he would just do click and buy. Or sorry, I was doing click and buy and he was doing auction, and he'd always sell his figures at a good price. And I think it's because he had gotten them from Japan himself. I never said that because I was just getting them shipped to me as a wholesaler, right? And this guy always sold through his stuff. Always just sell. You could tell his stuff was selling, and he was always going back to Japan and coming back with them. How was I supposed to compete with that? So I was making these really nice ads and pages, like these. I don't know if I ever kept any of them, but I had all these really nice graphics, had all my descriptions really 100% clear. Everything I tried to make, even if there was any kind of blemish or damage to the figure, I made sure all that was 100%. This guy barely put any description in them. And it bugged me that this guy was selling through his stuff like hotcakes, and I was struggling. And the people were driving me crazy too. People, they always wanted to make off eBay deals, and you're not supposed to do that. It's against the rules. Or they ask for free shipping. They'd message me and say, "Can I have free shipping?" Like, no. shipping was getting expensive, which is the other reason why I stopped doing it, is because I had to ask for a lot of money for shipping. It was almost the same price as the figure just to ship. And that's, even within Canada or just to the US was actually cheaper than within Canada. Don't know how that worked. But I got mad. I was just like, I can't keep doing this. I'm trying to do an eBay store. I got people hounding me for deals off eBay deals. Some of them getting right snarky and insulting about it. And yeah, I gave up on it. I'm surprised that thing is still going. So yeah, and then it costs money to run that kind of thing, right? So I was not making hardly anything. And I got frustrated and I dropped it. I figured maybe if there was a way, I tried to see if I could just do it by website. And websites were more complicated to run back then. And it was harder to advertise. This is before we had a social media now, right? So it was a bit different back at that time. But I suppose if I'd kept it up, I could have... I've talked about this before, haven't I? I was showing some pictures on this recently. Oh crap, I have talked about this. I apologize, I'm repeating myself again. You guys have heard all this. But, yeah, but I did have fun making those ads. I made some really nice, and it's a shame I didn't keep any of those. I think I deleted them all, but I had made these really nice, that I would upload as a picture. And instead of going up as a picture, it would go up, that's the other thing, is that I'd have full descriptions and people would always still ask questions. They never read it. They would always ask questions. They'd ask questions about stuff that I had made 100% clear in the ad. And they would still ask questions. I was so frustrated. But yeah, so I ended up, whoops, did I just lose? Oh, no, okay. I ended up dropping it, so yeah, that's no more of that for me. And also, people wouldn't leave, they never left feedback. I would always leave feedback as a seller. I would always put up, whatever, paid immediately, that kind of thing, right? Always, that's a big thing with eBay. You should be leaving feedback as a seller and a buyer. And only half the amount of people ever left me feedback, even when I requested it. And they were getting stuff on time. I was getting exactly what they were, I'd always package stuff really good. Lots of packing in it to make sure there was padding inside so it wouldn't shake, and then I'd put it in the box and I'd wrap it with the shipping paper that you could write on. I put a little doodle on the outside of the package, and it was, I really went all out on it, and I just felt like all of it was just for naught, right? It was just, I'm just wasting my efforts and time, so I stopped. But I sort of wish I could keep doing that, but I kind of went into debt doing that, so I'm not doing that again anymore. So I want to have a look into this a little bit more, but I don't want to. Pixel view mode. Oh, wait a second. Go over to pixels. Vector view. I don't know what this view is, because you've got pixel and vector here, but here it says view. So I don't know what that is. Alright, let me go back and try something again here. We get a brush, we get a pencil. There's a really interesting guy I started following, Ken Brufta, I think it is. He's from the UK. He has only got about 800 or 900 subscribers only. It's still 3 times the amount I've got. But I really like him. And he was talking about the same thing, the issues he's had with trying to buy off of eBay. And I'm going to want to get him on here as a guest sometime. I think it would be a lot of fun actually to have him on here and chat, because I'm going to start up Art Block again. Probably not next week. I'm hoping the week after. Next week I'm working right through. Next week's going to be a nightmare. So hopefully the week after I'm going to talk to Enrique and I can start doing art block again, because I miss doing that. I miss doing art block. There's lots to chat about, and we'll definitely be talking about what's been going on with Canva and Affinity, and I know he's got some stuff he wants to share, so I got to talk to him about starting that up again. I might be able to do it next Wednesday night. I got some things I got to do on Wednesday. Wednesday will be my only day off next week, Wednesday and Saturday. So I'm not not going to be terribly available, and Wednesday I have to do some work on my storage locker. I never looked at this Canva AI, but you've got to have a subscription for this. I think these tools, yeah, you've got to upgrade to use it. Okay, that's fine. I will never use that button on there in this. Oh, vector, pixel. Oh, you can turn them on and off. So I can turn that. Can I turn that off? Yay, retouching, coloring, grading. Oh, look at this. There's more stuff here. Now, is that designed for portraiture retouching, provides access to various retouching tools. Now, I don't know if that's part of the paid portion of it. And color grading. Oh, this is all your photography stuff. Very nice. Oh, so this would be your Lightroom stuff, right? In the Adobe suite. I have a friend of mine who does photography, and he swears by Lightroom. He started his subscription like almost 10 years ago, and if you got your subscription ages ago, whatever you started at, you keep. It won't really go up that much. But because they've changed their program so much that if you've dropped it and started again, you won't get it at the same at the same price point, unfortunately. So, hey, Mr. Paul Pate, how you doing, sir? See, everybody starts joining in a little bit later. So this was kind of my Halloween night tonight here, my Halloween special. I'm going to probably be continuing it tomorrow afternoon, just because I made this nice fun little introduction and I made these little breaks and I want to keep using them. So, but also too because I had to start this so late tonight, and I thought it'd be nice just to kind of do a little bit more tomorrow, so I'll do part 2 tomorrow afternoon of my Halloween special. But how are you doing, Paul? I was talking about now you use Clip Studio, but I was talking about the announcement of Affinity. This is the new Affinity suite that they just announced and released yesterday for free. I don't know if you heard about all that, but oh, good, I'm glad. There's a little bit more of a delay since I'm not using Talk Studio. Talk Studio, there's only a delay of about 5 or 10 seconds, maybe a little bit more. Here, this is 30 seconds to a minute. You haven't heard of Affinity? Really? Super quick, because I know I just talked about this already, and Dylan and Kevin have heard this already. So Affinity was kind of, they've been around for a number of years, and they were an alternative to Photoshop. They were a one-payment deal. There was three programs: Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, which was your artist one that has vector and pixel, and then Publisher, which was kind of, I don't know, like Pages for Mac. It was so those were the three programs, and it was a one payment deal. And usually I would get them. I didn't get Publisher, but I got Designer and Photo for both the Mac and the iPad. But you had to buy them separately. But I would get them when they were on sale, like Black Friday sales or something, right? So I went back. They were bought by Canva. I'm not a big fan of Canva, and Canva is subscription based. And we were all kind of worried about what was going to happen with Affinity when we heard they bought it. So they said they had this big announcement coming. They took the sale section down off their page, and then they made a big announcement. It was supposed to be for today, but they actually ended up making it the day before on the 30th. And the big deal was that Affinity would be completely free. 100% free forever. So you don't have to buy it anymore. And they also took those three and amalgamated them into one bigger program, which is what I'm using here now. So this is the new one. So it took Photo, it took Designer, and it took Publisher, squeeze them all together into one program, and that's what, and you can get it for free now off the site. So if you are looking for another art program to play around with, it is an option. Or if you do photography too, it's got some nice photography things in it, like Lightroom. I was just saying, for Lightroom for Adobe, has all of that built in into it now. There's a couple of things I'm not particularly fond of. I'll tell you one little thing I'm not big on. There is quite a learning curve to it, just to let you know. But when coloring, and I was demonstrating this a bit earlier, when coloring you have an ink layer on top, and then you have a layer underneath that you do your coloring, right? And so that'll be the reference, so you can just drop the color in. Yes, it does. It's got, well, take Procreate and throw in like Illustrator and Pages and Lightroom and mash it all into one big program. That's what this is. So, but yeah, definitely. It just does things differently. But like I was saying, like if you're coloring an image, you would make the top layer you reference, and you have a layer underneath, and that's where you're going to color it. So you'd make it a reference, and you could drop the color in, and it would fill on the color layer, keeping within the lines of the layer above it, the ink layer. It flips it. It wants to put the color on top. There is ways around that. I don't like doing that. I use the select tool, actually. I'll put the select on and then just color it. So there's also something called Live Trace, which is really nice for inking. I'll see if I can do that really quick. Let's get rid of the dog here, and I'll show you real quick. I'm going to erase this poor guy. Sorry, Mr. Dog. But I'll show you what Live Trace does. I'm not a big one to work in vector, but I do like the way the lines clean up. So your layers and your brushes are all under here, so you got to keep flipping back and forth between brushes and layers. So I'll go into inks, right, and I'll make this ink circle, and as you can see here, I'm in pixel, right, up here. So if you zoom into it, you can see it's very pixelated along the edge. It has the little zigzag, you can see all the pixels. So I'll get into the coloring after it. Now I flip over to vector. I click onto vector. There is something called, let's see if I can find it again, image trace. If I click on image trace, I don't know why it did that. There's still some bugs I think to work out. It didn't do that earlier. But it cleans up, the tolerance was way down, that's why. Oh God. What am I doing? Oh, maybe it's because I erased that dog, that's why. Let's start with a new page. You really got to have a clean page on. I have to remember that. So again, you got this guy. You zoom in, you can see all the little pixels. So if you're doing something that you have to blow up for a billboard, let's say you've got a job for that, I'll switch over to vector, selected it. Now I go into under vector and go image trace. I don't know if you saw that, but it just cleaned up that line. So now look at it. I'll zoom in. You can zoom in as tight as you want. And those lines are going to say crispy sharp. Look at that, right down to the little individual pixels here. And you can see that stays super, super sharp, right down to the edge. Now I'm not as familiar with working in vector, so when you use this thing and you go to the node tool, I'm going to figure out how to do this. So you can play around with your line like this, right? You can bend it and shape it, and you can make any changes you need to it afterwards. But it does this because you're in vector mode. It does this with color as well. I never worked with Illustrator, because Illustrator confused the fuck out of me. I was never a big fan of Illustrator. I liked some of what it could do, but it just was not for me. So I never used it. Clip Studio has like a vector layer. You can put it on a vector layer and it'll help you clean up your lines a lot better and tighten them up. And I've never played with it enough. I've been recommended by several people that I should use it. And one day I'll probably start trying to use that a little more in Clip Studio. But yeah, so whoops, I don't know what this is all about. Very odd. But yeah, so there's lots you can do with that. And I can go back to, if I go back to Pixel, it'll change those lines back again. Now you've got this really pixelated look to it until I go back to vector. And now it's a vector line again. But as far as like for coloring in areas, like because I'm in vector mode, even coloring will still be vector layers, and there's a whole different dynamics with that I'm just not used to. But that's it. That's sort of Affinity in just a little nutshell. There's a lot of artists that have done much more extensive deep dives into Affinity and how it works now. It does. It's really good if you're designing a logo, etc. If you have Affinity is free. It's owned by Canva, and if you have a Canva subscription, you get a few extra bonus things in Affinity, but it's all AI based. It's more in photography when whatever you need to use AI for in photography. If you need to like expand out of the sides of the picture and have it make stuff, change hats and ties, and does all that weird shit that I'm just not into at all. So if you need to use that kind of stuff, it comes with Canva, but I have no need for it, so I'm like, no. But yeah, so that's there it is. I wish it had carried over the brushes I had in my older version of Affinity Designer, but I think I can just drop them back in again. I can probably still do that. But your layers and brushes, I wonder if there's a way you can separate those. You can move them around if you need to. Like I can change the order. Create a new category, delete a category. Okay, well, good to know. Alright, so I don't know if anyone has any questions. I might just take another short break. I forget what order I had my breaks in. They're not mentioned here. Yeah, I'm going to try and do tomorrow afternoon, Paul, but thanks for popping in. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to see you. One day I'll get you on here as a guest one time. But you take care. We'll chat again soon. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. I really need another drink of water, I think. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to put on another break, and I'll be right back in a minute as I just go grab another drink of water. You guys all hang in, and we'll see you in just a moment. All right, there we go. Were you? Oh, it's been retracted. Sorry, I thought you were going to be leaving too, Dylan. I wanted to say goodnight to you before you left, but I take it you're still with us. What have we got here? We got 3 people watching, and I know I've got the phone open as one of them, so I think it's just you and Kevin. I think are the only ones on. Did I get? Oh, excuse me. Okay. And be sure if you can to give me a thumbs up. And leave a message, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell and all that good stuff. I'm not going to save you. I really, what is that? I really, I need to kind of do some work with this channel, and I really wanted to spend some time on it. And of course, the moment I actually opened my mouth and said that, my work week completely filled right up. I'm borderline full time the next couple of weeks, and I have to talk to my boss about that. Because I can't be doing that right now. So I don't know. If you wanted to see any more about Affinity, I can do that. The other thing I wanted to do here. Oh, I know something I wanted to check. let's go back here for a moment. Let's switch back to this view. I wanted to see if I could do panels, comic book panels, and I used to like doing that by using the select tool. So let's get rid of this layer here. And I want to add a new pixel layer. Now it has these shapes here selected, but this is, it fills it in black. I suppose I could select a white. But what I used to like doing in other programs is I would use the select tool. Let's see, so if I did this, and you could separate it. Oh, very good. Okay, so you could separate it like into boxes like this. And it's funny, I can't see very well on the side. But anyways, so I have them as a selection tool, and I need to find where you can outline it, where it is, it will either say outline or stroke selection, something like that, it'll say. If you see it, so that's text, vector, not in vector, pixel, I need to find, see they've named all this differently up here. You transform down here, but that's not what I'm looking for. My mouse is jumping all over the place here. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, it's going to bug the hell out of me now until I find that. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? Where it's you just it'll outline your selection areas. Like if you used to Photoshop, it was easy, like just outline, or it should be under edit or document. No, it's document information. Won't be under text. It won't image trace it. No, it won't image trace it because there's nothing there. That's something I'm going to have to find. And you know, when I go online and I go under YouTube videos, and some people have already done like these deep dives into everything, I'll never find it. They'll cover everything but the thing that I need it to do. I really hate it. Here we go. Pixel selection. I think it'll be in here. Outline, way down there. God, it took me forever. Okay. And okay, so you select the radius there. So you can see it'll change the sizes of the area. And I wish it just kind of did it directly. But you can do it like this, and there, so it's 3.1, apply. So what I can do is take the bucket fill, and I think there, it'll just do the whole thing. I need to turn that assistant off. There, I think that's it. There it is. So when I hit D, there you go. So that's it. So the nice thing is in Clip Studio, it has a whole thing for this where it masks out every individual panel, and you can create its own set of layers for every single panel. So it has, if you're going to do comics, you really should have Clip Studio and you really should be using that. It is the best way to lay out comics. But if you don't have Clip Studio and you're using Affinity, I think Photoshop does this as well, you can do this. And then, like, let's say I'll, which one is it? So I can select this. Elliptical, where's like the object selection tool? Okay. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Is that a are you kidding me? Flood selection tool? There we go. So if I go into this layer on top, it should there we go. It'll stay within that panel. And then I can zoom in, and you can do the whole thing, and you can do sketches in there, and I can switch to a drawing. Right. Now that that's selected, I can do the drawing in there, and I can do the inking, and just keep working with layers. But so you can do it. You can lay out comics with this. I have to switch back. I gotta jump back and forth between layers. That's gonna be kind of annoying, I think. So yeah, you can do it, but I would probably never use this for comics. You can see I can go right outside this and it won't pick up any of that. So but at least I know I can do that. I just wish it would just do a direct line instead of you adjusting the thickness, seeing the thickness of it. I guess that way you can see what it's going to be, but it fills it in really good though. So yeah, you can do comics in it. So there is that. I won't play around with the lettering. I'm not going to play around too much else with this right now. In fact, I think I'm going to close this. It's funny that it's funny when you have okay, no worries, you haven't missed a whole lot. Oops. Sorry, I almost hit the wrong thing. See, this is why I don't like I'm kind of get used to about this. No worries, Kevin. I'm just been going through Affinity Photo a bit. So, or Affinity, it's not even a photo design or any of that. It's just Affinity. So I've just been going through some of the features with that. But yeah, it's funny that when you have like a learning curve on a new program, it's like, I'll just go back to what I know. So I'd rather go back to just Clip Studio. Clip Studio will always be my go-to program. Even though it's that one you do pay money for, but it's not expensive. It's not like Photoshop or anything like that. The nice thing is with Clip Studio, you pay for a new release. So every year to 2 years, even more, it will update to a newer version, and I think it's only about $30, I think. Yeah, and you catch it when it's on sale. When they announce it, they'll say, like, order now and you'll get it cheaper. So you always get it ahead of time, and you'll pay a bit less for it. So you pay a one-shot deal every time it upgrades to a new level. And then while in that, there's always little upgrades to that version that you're using, right? So right now I'm in version 3. And if I want all the updates to version 3 through the course of the year, I pay an extra Canada, it's an extra $13 a year. US, I think it's just 10. So it's $10 a year, and then you pay the $30, $40 or whatever every time it upgrades. And it hasn't, because I remember when they went from version 1 to version 2, and they started all this, and it was, I paid the $30, and then about a year and a half later it went up to version 3, I think, or is it version 4? I forget. Whatever version I'm at, it hasn't changed for a good year and a half or more. So, and I haven't seen any kind of notice saying when the next version is going to be. So, but that I can deal with. $13 a year, an extra $10, or $13 a year, and then whenever that new upgrade comes, $30. That's not bad, right? They need to make a bit of money somehow, so that I can understand. And that's not a terrible setup for it, really. Some people are a little bit confused, because I know if you have, if you use it on the iPad, I know Paul uses it on the iPad. It always used to be $10 for the iPad. Now I think it's, if you want to pay monthly, you get both programs. You get it for the iPad and your desktop, but it's $10 a month. I think that's what the amount is. You have to pay that each month for that. And I don't know if you can prepay an entire year, or how that would work. But I don't need it on the iPad. I could use it on the iPad. The nice thing is, with Clip Studio, the iPad version has everything the desktop has. It's not like, say, like Photoshop. Photoshop on the iPad is horrible. I don't know what their problem is and what's taking them so long, but ever since they announced Photoshop on the iPad, we all knew it was kind of a reduced version of it. We always said, they just need a bit of time to work on it and bring it up to speed, kind of thing, right? And it's been years later, and it's still crap. It still can't do everything the desktop version can. The one thing they did do is, for the iPad, they kind of split it. So you only need Photoshop for the iPad if you're doing photography. If you're doing drawing, Adobe wants you to use Fresco, and Adobe Fresco is pretty good. There is a free version, but you get pretty much most of the whole program with it. I do have the paid version because I can add new tools to it every year, and I can upgrade the tools, and there's a couple of extra little bells and whistles in it that's really nice. So I do have the paid version of it. It renews in January. I might not this year, because I never used it that much. I'm so used to going to Procreate as a default. Procreate is so easy to just open and use. It doesn't... there's things that Adobe does that Procreate can't. Procreate still doesn't use vector. And they finally updated the brush management. Procreate's brush management now is a lot better. But Fresco, I still think, might actually be a little bit better. What was the other thing? There was another reason I didn't... there was something else about Procreate. But anyways, Fresco is still short on a lot of issues that it needs to do. Like what I was just looking at here to do the stroking a selection, Fresco does. There's no program that does that on an iPad except for two. Clip Studio, because it has the whole program built into it, and Medibang Paint, because again it has the whole program built into it on a desktop. Those are the only two I know that on the iPad have that outlining a selection. The rest don't do that. None of them do that. And I don't know what the issue is. Why they can't have them do that. And I have like 5 programs on the iPad. But yeah, if you have an iPad, I should do a video on covering what the best programs are for the iPad, because some drawing programs don't use unless you really just want to work simplified. They're missing something. Some of them are really good, some of them are even better, some of them are just not very good at all. So Pixelmator, I love Pixelmator Pro on the desktop. The iPad version has been horrible since day one, and even though they've updated it, it's still horrible. And one of the biggest issues I have with that one is you can't add any more drawing tools to it. Whatever tools it comes with, that's what you use, but you can't add them to the, and I don't know what's taking them so long or what their problem is, but you can't add any tools to, any new drawing tools to what you get. And they're terrible. The ones that come with it are awful. But Pixelmator Pro was supposed to be more of a graphics thing. Their photo enhancing program, Photomator, is fantastic. It is amazing. Like, I think it could rival Lightroom. It's absolutely amazing, and I can tell they put a lot more work into that. So, but anyways, if you're on an iPad, you're looking for a drawing program. Sketchbook Pro is nice. It's simple and easy. And again, it doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. It's missing a lot of stuff you might find later on could be frustrating. But if you're just looking for a simple graphics program, Sketchbook Pro is really nice. There's of course Procreate. We all know what Procreate. What's the other? What's the one that I really liked, but it was again missing a couple of things. Infinity Painter. Very nice program. I like the way it's laid out. Great way of great brush selections on it. Really nice selection of brushes. Again, can't outline a selection. Still can't do that. And it doesn't have text. So if you want to add text into something, it doesn't have a text option. I don't know why. I guess the whole thing is it's just supposed to be illustration or drawing, but it has everything else on there. So it has a really good selection of stuff. But boy, the stuff that is missing, you really kind of notice it. But I do like it. I've done a bit of drawing on it. I shouldn't have bought it, but I did. Same with Pixelmator. I wish I knew issues with that. So they were one-shot deals, or they were $13 one shot, and that's it. But I have Affinity, and I have both versions of Affinity. Affinity is not on for mobile yet, for any kind of mobile device, whether you have iPad or Galaxy. It's not available for that just yet, just on the desktop. I'm sure that'll come soon. So, yeah, so that's my chit-chat. Wait, should I open another drawing program here? So did anyone do anything for Halloween tonight? Did you do anything? Did you go to a Halloween party? Did you get dressed up? I would say you didn't go trick-or-treating, but that's mainly just the kids that do that. I didn't even go out and see them. Usually I kind of go out and at some point on Halloween night and kind of just, see them out trick-or-treating. I kind of miss doing that when I was a kid. It was something else when I was young. It was a big deal. And boy, we loaded up. Every house in the neighborhood always participated in that. And I remember just going out, dumping off, like filling up an entire bag and then dumping it out at home and then going out and filling up another one. And never visited a house twice. It's just that I was hitting like neighborhood after neighborhood, just loading up. And I made it last. I was never one of those that, I got home and then started digging into and eating candy all night. I know people do that. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, it's by the time I was done, it was late. And I don't know, I could, even back then, even though I had terrible eating habits, I wouldn't overeat candy that much and I wouldn't eat it that late. The mobile app version for Affinity, they haven't even announced when it's going to be released yet. It is coming. They are working on it. They haven't given a date yet. I used to get so much candy. My mom always kind of wanted some, and she was always really nice about it. It's not like I'm taking your candy, but I always had so much that I would always share some with my mom and dad because I had so much. So they kind of So I didn't mind, and I would make it last. I never like to like gobble it down. It would be January, and I would still have Halloween candy. So, Erwin Papa. Who's Erwin Papa? That sounds familiar. That sounds really, really familiar. Erwin Papa. Hmm. Yeah, your desktop. If you're looking for a mobile app, um, there is the free ones are not very good. If you're gonna buy one, or if you're gonna buy a couple, Procreate, of course, because there's new stuff coming with that. They're going to be updating a lot more with that pretty soon. Um, Procreate. You could use Infinity Painter, just know it doesn't have text. Um, oh, Fresco. Adobe Fresco is really good. There's a couple of things I wish it did, but for what it does do, it is a good program. So I would say if you're gonna have a couple uh, for your iPad, Adobe Procreate, Adobe Fresco. When Affinity comes out, you could probably put that on there. That'll be really good, especially if it's free. If it's free for your iPad too, that'll be nice. They might end up charging for the one on the iPad, and I can see them doing that, but I can't see it being a lot. Um, he sometimes watches the archive. Oh, okay. He was just on as a guest about 2 or 3 years ago. Is that right? I haven't watched them. Oh, weeks ago. Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe I'll look for that and get an idea who he is. I'm sorry if this is really loud. I'm trying to stand the mic up. If I use the mic up here on my lapel, it's too. It sounds just like this, and it sounds awful. So I don't usually keep it on the lapel. I keep it down here on my desk. Actually, if I lie it down, you guys can still hear me like this. Hopefully. Oh, I realize I'm not on cam and screen here. There. You know something I wanted to do as well. I'd completely forgotten about this. I'm going to try and remember to do this next year. First of all, I'm going to try and take some time off for Halloween next year. If I am doing well, if I can, I'd like to take the whole month off, or at least reduce my hours, or failing that, I definitely am taking at least the week of Halloween off next year. I'm gonna let everyone know about that. Um, when I was young, back in the 70s, during that time I was gathering all that candy up, we used to decorate for everything. We decorated the house for Christmas, for Easter, for Halloween, for New Year. We decorated anything you could decorate the house for, we decorated for it. Whoops, I turned on the eraser by mistake. No, you can't turn it back off. I just have to pencil in, I think. So you should be able to click that and have it turn back on. Switch to eraser and it won't switch back. There we go. And I remember we had a big plastic pump. My mom didn't want to carve real pumpkins because they were messy and they rotted really quickly, and she wasn't big on to actually clean it out to make like pumpkin pie or something. She just didn't want to go through that effort. She never really was particularly fond of that. So instead, we just got this big plastic one, but it had a light in it that you plugged in and put in the window. And it actually was really cool. It was really nice. I actually really liked it. So I was fine with that. I wasn't terribly upset about the fact of not having an actual pumpkin. That was not a I was never kind of heartbroken. Same thing with the Christmas tree. We never had a real Christmas tree because they were too damn messy, and I don't blame my mom. I'd be the same way. Never get a real tree. We got we had an artificial tree, but that was half the fun of Christmas was putting up the decorations and putting the tree together, and I was all for that. I for some reason when I was a kid I loved doing that, and my mom and I would decorate the tree together. Um, and my dad would just kind of watch and give instructions. um, but oh yeah, what was I saying? So one of the decorations that we had that I absolutely loved, I remember we bought it too one year, is this big 6 foot cutout Frankenstein we had on the front door, and uh, it was so cute. My mom really liked it. She always said he's really cute, and he had a silly grin on his face, and it was very cartoonish looking. The fabric on the clothes, um, like it was a flat out cut. It was just a flat cutout with those little pin things that you could move. You could sort of move the arms, and he was on like a side view with his head through. It was flat, anyways. And everything would fold up to like this size, and then you put it away for the year. But the clothing on it, I don't know what they used for it. It looked like somebody had photographed actual woven fabric and used a picture for the fabric. But anyways, we had it for years, and I think it just got worn out and then eventually tossed. And it always kind of saddened me actually that that one went because I always did really like it. Turn this way off. And I always swore up and down for many years that I was going to find that again and buy it, even if I had to like buy it off eBay or something. I was going to get it, and I kind of forgot about it over the years, unfortunately. I don't know why I'm having so much. Where would that come from? Come right there. Okay. Eventually I started looking for it again. I looked for it last year, and I found one on eBay. First of all, I did a Google search for it. Could not find it anywhere. I did like retro Frankenstein door hangers for Halloween. I looked for all of that, and couldn't find a picture of it anywhere. Anywhere. I found one on eBay, and it looked kind of in rough shape, and they wanted a lot for shipping. I thought they were asking a bit much, plus the shipping. I didn't think it would survive the shipping. And I was like, sometimes you have to just kind of let things go in life, right? And I decided not to. And then I thought, what the hell? I'm an artist. Like, if I can get a good picture of this, I can just draw one again. Right? Um, so I thought, why don't I look for just some good pictures? Again, couldn't find. I scoured Google Pictures. Couldn't find this thing anywhere. I went back to that eBay listing and saved the only two pictures. Unfortunately, they're on angles, so they're slightly distorted a bit. I wonder if I've still got them somewhere. I'll see if I can bring them up. Um, and I thought, maybe that would even make for a good YouTube video. uh, let's. I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll get the cardboard or the Bristol board, whatever it is, um, get enough of it because it was all every shape was a cutout. Like the forearm was one, the upper part of the arm was one, the hands were one, the head was one, the body, the legs. So if I could get a whole bunch of sheets, I could cut out every portion of it, and this thing would be completely posable. And it was just those simple little duotang metal clips that you push through and then you fold and flatten them, right? So I could do this. I can draw it. The fabric I could either paint or print out and stick on it. I could really go all out on this, right? So I looked for this. And Frankenstein door project. There it is. Hold on a minute. I'm going to show you these. So unfortunately, um, my mom absolutely loved this. They're both on a slight angle. Even the one on the floor is on a bit of an angle. But I think I can figure it out from here. I'm just going to drag these pictures in here so you can see them. Right. So here's there's that one. So you get a whole idea. It's really simple. Like there's ones now that look probably a lot nicer and look um, I don't know, they probably look better. But you can see like it's bent on the feet. It's bent up here. Something's happened. They've this is torn up here in the head where they've had something. It's obviously been taped in spots, right? It's pretty rough. It's in pretty rough shape. Um, can I zoom in on this? Whoops! No, don't do that. Did it actually go into the garbage? No, see the picture I have of that. What the hell? What did I hit to move it to the trash? Here's the other one. It's a little bit. This allowed me to get a little bit closer look at the fabric. And you can see like there's I think somebody's actually because this was made in the 70s. This really looks like it's getting a little too pixelated. It looks like somebody photographed some fabric and then they used it in making this. But this face is pretty easy. It's obviously a painting that's been printed, but that's fine. I could even do it digitally and print it. Um, and I thought, this would be like a great thing to do for the month of October, leading up to Halloween, is to recreate this like 1970s door hanger, and then it have like a new one. You look how badly all this is dinged up. It is from the 70s, right? Connection for the neck and everything. So I do, but at least there's the full one here, so I can get an idea of the sizes at least, even though it is on a slight angle. I can get an idea of the proportions. It's funny how this leg is cut out. This one's straight, but this one shows more shape to it. That's fine. But it looks like somebody's done like a painting and then they photographed it and then made it into these prints. But I think, like I said, I can do I can maybe do this. I could either paint one by hand, but I'd really have to get the right kind of paper for it, or just do it digitally and then print it, or just not. I don't have to duplicate this exactly, right? I really like it though. I wish I could find it. Like I said, I scoured. Um, I should try and draw the head on it instead of this, the one that I'm doing. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll just kind of do a drawing of the head tomorrow. I'm not going to do that tonight. But man, it's. I wish I knew who produced this, who made it. It's gone off of eBay. I've gone back to eBay to see if maybe there was any more pictures, if there was any more information on the listings. There was nothing. This thing has completely disappeared out of existence. You can't find it anywhere now. That's such a shame. But I even tried dropping it into Google Pictures, and it was like, what the hell is this? So, she is gone, unfortunately. I was hoping Matt might pop in here tonight. I was really hoping to see Matt. I don't see him tonight. Which is, I know there's a lot going on. His friend is not very well. His friend is very, very, very ill and has little time on this earth, unfortunately. And I know that all too well. That's kind of an awful thing to go through. So, but I was hoping he might pop in on here tonight. He might be doing a live. I should go see if he's doing a live himself. Because I turned off my notifications on my phone so I could keep doing this. Off Kilter Crafter is doing his Halloween one. He did his tonight. He just does sewing and chatting. Everyone covered that World Series and game, and then we ended up losing it. Mystery Science Theater is doing their Spookathon. Anyways. Calum was. That was this morning. I missed Calum's show. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do tomorrow afternoon. I don't have too many people watching right now. I'm gonna put on, see if I can find that last break that I wanted to put on, and because one of them has the Hello Beans. I'll play everything tomorrow. Let's see if I can find it. Go, lady. Oh, that was a close one. Oof, they don't make them like they used to. Anyways. I gotta remember to hit the mic on that. Right, good test run for tomorrow. Well, it is 1:30, and as I figured, this kind of went over like a lead brick. I'm glad you could come in though, Dylan. It's just you and Kevin. Kevin's still here, but I'm gonna try tomorrow afternoon. Let's see if anyone shows up. I'll make it a longer show. Hopefully, some people will come in and drop out. Usually, I have people kind of show up through, like I'll start it, and then about a half hour, 45 minutes in, people will show up, and and then I kind of I get a little more interaction. But nothing tonight. Maybe it's because there's a ball game and it is Halloween, so I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to try and do part 2 of this tomorrow, and we'll do it all again. But thanks for sitting in, though, Dylan. I'm going to call it here, I think, for the night. And we'll see what we can do from there. So, but I'm glad you could sit in. So I'm going to replay the intro because the outro wasn't finished. But, yeah, hopefully you can be around tomorrow, Dylan. Tell your friends. And we'll go from there. Hopefully get more people join in. I'm going to make another cup of tea and, I don't know, sit up in bed and play on my iPad for a bit. So, but, yeah. All right. You have a good night, Dylan, as well, Kevin. We'll see you all again tomorrow. Have a good night. Thanks again.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
Ha ha ha!